Hello everybody, this is the fifth video clip of chapter 1 for Calculus for Business 2. Okay, previously what we have done is if you're given the 2 by 2 matrix A and if the cross multiply AD minus BC is not 0, you can determine the A inverse, okay, of this matrix by 1 over AD minus BC and interchange the position along the main diagonal. So your A and your D interchange, and you change the sign of your B and C by put a negative sign in front of it. So this one will be your A inverse. Okay. Another way to find the A inverse is that you are going to attach your A with the identity matrix with the same sides or the same order. So if this one is 3 by 3 matrix, then you need to insert your I3 with it. And you do a series of row operations until, if, okay, this is an if you can change your A or reduce your A into the identity IN, then the one with the IN at the beginning will reduce into the A inverse. Okay, and if this one happened, okay, then we say that your A is invertible or a non-singular. Okay, invertible or non-singular, it means that your A inverse exists. Okay, but if you cannot do it, okay, if this one cannot reduce into the I, then your A is a singular matrix. Okay, and by inverse, one of the property of the inverse is that your A and A inverse becomes the identity, and your A with your A inverse with your A or your A with your A inverse multiply becomes an identity. Okay, so it means that if you have a system of equation in terms of matrix AX equals to B and your A inverse exists, then your X always equals to A inverse multiplied with the B. Okay, and this must be the order that your A inverse come first and then multiply with the B, because you multiply your A inverse on the left of both sides of your equation here, and this one is your unique solution. So today we are going to use this kind of matrix, okay, to further solving some kind of problem, okay, involving business, okay, just like this. First, let us read it together. It says that the investment firm offers 3 stock portfolio. So you got 3 kind of stocks, okay, A, B, and C, and the number of blocks of each type of stock in each of these folios is summarized in the following table. So for the folio A, you are going to invest in the high risk stock for 6 portion, a moderate risk stock for 3 portion, and a low risk stock for 1 portion. Okay, so you know what it means, like just like this. And for the folio B, okay, for the folio B, they are going to invest in the high risk for only 1 portion, 2 portion for the moderate, and 5 portion for the low risk stock. And the last folio C, okay, they are going to distribute the high risk, moderate risk, and the low risk together with 3 portion, like that. If the client wants 35 blocks of high risk stock, okay, and 22 blocks of moderate risk stock and 18 blocks of low risk stock, then how many of each portfolio should be suggested? Okay, how many of each portfolio should be suggested? So it means that the question is about like a number of folio. So your answer should be like you do inverse 2 of folio A, 3 of folio B, 5 of folio C, so that you have this kind of stock that you need. You know what I'm saying? So it means that your A, B, C is actually the variable. Okay, so let's say that each folio, for example, of folio A has the X folios. Okay, so let me use the X as a variable for A Y folio for B, and the Z folio for C. Okay. Then if you invest, okay, let look at it this way. If you invest one folio on A, then how many high risk block that you obtain? 6. Okay, so we are talking about the high risk, and it says that in total you need the high risk of 35 blocks. You see, so if you invest 1 in A, only 6 high risk obtained, but you are going to do X folio X of folio A, then you are going to obtain 6X high risk stock. You see, so the first one for the high risk, okay, you got 6X from the first folio. The same thing, if you invest only one of the B folio, of the second folio, you are going to get only one block or only one stock of high risk. But actually you do a Y of a B folio, so you are going to obtain 1 multiplied by Y high risk stock, right? So this one for the another high risk, it is 1Y. Same thing with the Z. Okay, 1 of the C folio will give you 3 high risk stock, but you do Z of the C folio, it will give you 3Z high risk. So together here is a number of high risk obtained from A, B, and C, and together it must be 35. How about the moderate risk? Okay, you do the same thing with this table. So you have a 3X moderate from A, a 2Y moderate stock from B, and a 3Z moderate stock from C, and the moderate one you need a total of 22. And the last one is the low risk. Okay, so here you obtain one row risk stock from A, 5 from B, and 3 Z from C, and a total that you need is 18. So all what you need to figure is like how we invest, how many of A that you are going to invest, how many of B that you are going to invest, and how many of C that you are going to invest. So you solve for X and Y and Z, right? You solve for this. So let me just rewrite this example, okay, right over here. So you have 6X, 1Y, 3Z equals to 35, 3X, 2Y, 3Z equals to 22, 1X, 5Y, 3Z equals to 18. Or it can be written in terms of matrix, okay, just like that, 5 and a 3, okay, together with a variable matrix x, y, z equals to 35, 22, and 18. We get, okay, so this is the coefficient for x, coefficient for y, and the coefficient for z, okay, and this one is in terms of ax equals to b. So let me just use the one that we just learned, okay, to find your A inverse if exists. So first, let us try to find A inverse. So you are going to write down your A together with your identity, a 3 by 3 identity matrix. Okay, so this is your A and I3, and then you are going to, as I told you, to do it column wise. Okay, and now it depends on your own strategy. Okay, depends on your own strategy. To me, I mean, I'll just do it as it is. Look at the first column, look at the first position of your first column. If it is already non-zero, then you just use it. Okay, but this one must change into a 1. So you are going to divide it by, your R1 divided by 6. Okay, so here is 1 over 6. Let's just write down as 3 over 6. 1 over 6, 0, 0. And then the rest are the same. Okay, and after you have changed your first position into 1, you are going to get rid of the rest, okay, by using your R1. Okay, so here your R2 must be changed into your R2 and add the opposite number with the 1 appear there to your R1, and R3, it is your R3 with the opposite number multiplied to your R1. So it means that, I mean, if you did it right, this one must be like this. Your R1 will keep it the same. Okay, and the rest will be changed. All right. So this one, you are going to multiply -3 to your R1 first and then add it with your R2. So as you multiply -3, okay, so you have -3 over 6, -3 over 6, which is -1/2, right? With a 2, okay, and -1/2, add with a 2, so you have 3 over 2. Okay, this one at the first place, it is 1/2. Okay, it is 1/2, right? Multiply by -3, so you have -3 over 2, is it? And then you add a 3, which is a 6 over 2. You see, a 3 which is a 6 over 2. Okay, so you have a 3 over 2, is it? Okay, and then this one you are going to multiply with -3, so actually it is -1/2 again. Okay, and then you add with the 0, so you have -1/2. This one is a 0 with a 1, so you got 1. This one is also 0, right, with a 0, so you have 0. All right, so now the second one is your R3 subtracted, I mean directly with your R1. So your R3 subtract with your R1. So this one is actually 30 over 6, right? Okay, so subtract it, you got 29 over 6. Okay, this one is actually here is 1/2, right? There is 6 over 2, is it? The 3 is 6 over 2. So if you subtract each other, so you have 5 over 2. Okay, here you have 0 subtracted by 1 over 6, 0 and 0, and 1 subtracted by 0. Okay, now you are looking at your second column. and concentrate on your second position of your second column. You need to change it into a 1, right? So it means that your R2 becomes 2 over 3 R2. Okay, so that it will cancel with your 3 over 2. So let me squeeze it here. So and I change this one into 1 over 2. Okay, this is the same. And then this one becomes a 1, and then here multiply with 2/3, so your 2 cancel, so you end up with negative 1/3, 2/3, and a 0. Okay, then you'll be able to get rid of the rest outside this position, right? Okay, and as I told you that it will involve a lot of, fractions. Okay, so to do that, okay, again, we ask for your patience. Your R1 becomes your R1 and the opposite number of your R2. Okay, so now you are going to, previously you concentrate on your R1, right? This one you concentrate on your R2, and your R3 becomes your R3 with the negative, the opposite, that number with your R2 here. So your R2 will be pretty much the same. And your first column is done, so it will be like that. Your second column, if you did it right, then it will always 0. So here is the only place that you are going to calculate. Okay. All right, so you need 1/6. Okay, negative 1/6 with your R2. So this one, negative 1 over 6, right? Multiply. Okay. So here, it is 3 over 6, is it? And you add it together, so you have a 2 over 6. Is that correct? See a 2 over 6. Okay. This one you multiply by negative 1/6. Okay. So you have a positive, right? A positive 1 over 18. Okay. But here it is 3 over 18. Is that right? So together is 4 over 18. You see? Okay. Here you multiply by 1/6, negative 1/6, So you have negative 2 over 18, right? Added with 0. So you have negative 2 over 18. And then that is 0. Okay, the last one. Next, okay, this one you multiply negative 29 over 6 to your R2. Okay, so here it is negative 29 over 6 with your 5 over 2, and your 5 over 2 is actually 15 over 6, right? You multiply both by 3. So as you add them up, you have negative 14 over 6. Okay. And this one, with this one, the negative and negative becomes a what? 29 over 18, right? Positive. And you subtract this one, which is a 3 over 18. So you have 26 over 18. All right. This one is still a negative, right? A negative 58 over 18. Okay. Or actually it is a what? 2 over 3 multiplied by negative 29 over 6. Okay, so here it is a negative 29 over 9 with a 0. So just like that. And then the last one, of course, it is 0 and 1. So you have a 1. Okay. So let me simplify it a little bit. For example, this one, instead of 2 over 6, you have 1 over 3. Right? Instead of 4 over 18, you got 2 over 9. Instead of negative 2 over 18, you got negative 1 over 9. This one, instead of 14 over 6, you have negative 7 over 3. Okay. This one, it is it can be 13 over 9. Okay, something like this. All right. So you concentrate on your last on your third column and the last position of your third column, and it must be 1. So you are going to multiply the whole thing, the whole row, I mean the third one, by 3 over 7 with a negative. Okay, the rest are the same. Okay, this is 0, 0, 1, right? Because here it cancel with all this. So if you multiply by negative 3 over 7, the 3 and the 9 cancelled, right? So you have negative 13 over 21. Okay, this one, you multiply by negative 3 over 7, the 3 and the 9 cancel, so you have 29 over 21. And the last one, it is still negative 3 over 7. Okay, and you are going to get rid of the rest in this column to be 0. So all what you need to do is to do your R1 and then subtract it with 1/3 of your R3. So here, this one, you concentrate on your R3 with the opposite number of the one that you need to get rid of. Your R2, it is your R2 with a negative R3. Okay, so I mean the first and the second column is already done, so it will just remain the same. Okay, so let us do which one first? Maybe this one. Okay, the R2 subtract by R3. Here's your R2, there's your R3. Okay, so this one, your R2, the first one, it is what? Negative 7 over 3, and then subtract, so it's a plus 13 over 27. Sorry, it is negative 7 over 21. Okay, you multiply by 7, and then plus 13 over 21. Is it? So you have what? 6 over 21. Is that correct? Okay. Now you have this one. It is 14 over 21 minus 29 over 21. So together you have 15 negative. Right? And the last one, you got 0 subtracted by negative 3 over 7. So you have a 3 over 7 out of it. Okay. The last one, that will be a bit messy, because you are going to multiply a negative 1/3 into your R3. Okay. So by multiplying negative 1/3 third. So you have 13 over 63. Okay, and then you add a what? A 2 over 9, which is 14 over 63. You see? So together it is 27 over 63. Alright. The second one here, it is negative 29 over 63 minus 7 over 9. Sorry. 29 over 63. I mean negative, right? Because you multiply by a negative 1/3, you see? And then minus 7 over 63. So altogether, it is what? 36 over 63. Okay. And then the last one is just simply what? This one by negative 1/3. So the negative and the negative here cancelled. So you have 1 over 7 added 0. So you have only 1 over 7 left. Okay. So here, if we do it correctly, it should be your A inverse. All right. Now let us simplify the A inverse a little bit. Okay. So it means that your A inverse of this problem, this one you can simplify by 9, right? This is 3 over 7. This one also can be simplified by 9, which is negative 4 over 7. This is 1 over 7. This one can simplify by 3, so it is 2 over 7. This one also by 3, so it is negative 5 over 7. Here is already simplified. And the last row cannot be further simplified, then you just keep it like that. So this is your A inverse. Okay. And did you forget what we are going to find? Okay, what we are going to find is to find the x, right? What we're going to solve for is to solve for the x, which is your x, y, and z, and it is the number of folio that you are going to invest on, I mean, each folio A or B or C, right? And the B, the constant matrix, it is 35, 22, and 18. Okay, so it means that your x, okay, so it means that your x, it is simply your A inverse. Okay, this one, negative 5 over 7, 3 over 7, 13 over 21, 29 over 21, and negative 3 over 7 here. Okay, multiply with cannot remember, 35, 22, 18. 35, 22, 18. Okay, in order to get your each folio investment. Okay, so you are going to multiply the row with the column here. Okay, so the first one, of course, it is 3 over 7 and 35. It is 4 over 7 and 22. And it is 1 over 7 and 18. Okay, let me just elongate it a little bit. The second row, okay, here with each one of them. So you have 2 over 7 and 35, 5 over 7 and 22, and 3 over 7 and 18. Okay, and the last one here is negative 13 over 21 with 35, and 29 over 21 with 22, and 3 over 7 with 18. Okay, and then you really need to calculate it out. Okay, so let us use a calculator. For the first one, it is all over 7. Is that right? So it is 3 and 35, which is 105, minus 4 and 22, so it is 88, and it is 18, so it is what? 105 minus 88 and 18, so you have 35 or 7, so it happened to be 5. Okay, so it means that your first folio, the folio A, okay, is 35 of them. How about your second one? Okay, let us do it here. So it is 70. Again, it is over 7, right? And then minus 5 and 22, so it is 110, and 3 and 18, so it is 54. Okay, so it is 17 minus 110 added 54, so it happened to be 14 over 7, which is 2. Okay, so at first it looked pretty ugly, but then after you do a simplification, then it is a nice number. Okay, so now 13 and 35, the last one, it is negative 455, and 29 with 22, so this is 638, and this one, don't forget that you need to multiply further by 3, okay, another 3, so that it becomes a 21, right? So it is 9 and 18, which is let me do it again, 9 and 18, 162 with a negative. Okay, so you have 638 minus 455 minus 162. Oh, it happened to be 21 over 21, which is what? 1. Okay, oh sorry, this is 5. Sorry, your x is 5. Okay, the first one. All right, so it means that you need to invest 5 of folio A, 2 of folio B, and 1 of folio C, so that you obtain the 35 high risk, 22 moderate risk, and 18 low risk stocks, okay, as you wish. We get this is the first method, okay, which is the method by finding the A inverse, okay, and your x becomes the A inverse multiplied by B. All right, this one is a little bit messy, and as I told you that usually inverse to find A inverse, it involves a lot of fractions like that. Okay, so now let me just redo this problem again. Okay, be patient with me. We are going to introduce another method to solve your system of equation, and then it's not, what should I say, is not that long. It will like reduce what you need to calculate by like about half. Okay, so this one is so-called the semi-reduction. Okay, semi-reduction method. All right, so of course, I mean, we still have this word reduction, so you still need to do some reduce, okay, some row operation to reduce, but we are going to do it only like about half of it. Okay, so let us go back to your original problem again, this one. Okay, this problem, this system. So you have 6 x and y and 3z. Okay, 6x and y and 3z equals to 35. You have 3x, 2y, 3z equals to 22. This is the same old problem that we just did, and x, 5y, 3z equals to the 18. Okay, and of course, like previously, here's your A, the coefficient matrix. Here's your variable matrix again. There is your constant matrix on the right hand side. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to ignore the the variable matrix, and then you are going to do the augmented matrix A and B. Okay, so your A attached with your B. Okay, and then you are going to do like what you did for finding a reduced matrix of your A, but we are going to do like only like half of it. Okay, only half of it. Okay, for example, if you look at the first row, the first column. Okay, what you are going to do is the same thing, that to let your first position to be 1. That will be the simplest way, but actually, I mean, some of you may say that, hey, if you need to simplify the thing, sometimes maybe you don't need it to be really a 1, but let me just do it like this first, so that some of your friends not that confusing. Okay, so we still do R1 becomes like 1/6 R1. So this is the same process as we did before. Okay, so this is 3/6, so 1/2, and 35/6, right? It is a 35/6. Okay, this is 3 to 3, 22, 1, 5, 3, 18. Just copy, and then as previously, we are going to get rid of the rest in that first column. So you are going to do R2 becomes your R2, and then the opposite number here that you need to get rid of with R1, R3 also R3 with the opposite number there with R1 again. You see the same old process. Okay, depends on your R1 here, and your R1 just copy 35/6. Okay, and this one must be all 0. Okay, as we did previously. So this is the only part that you need to really concentrate on. So the first one, you are going to multiply -3 to your R1. So here it is -3/6, or it is -1/2 with the 2. So you have 3/2. All right. This one you have also -3 multiply, so it's -3/2 with the 6/2. So together you got 3/2. Okay. However, if you multiply -3 here, so you have -35/2, is it? Because your 3 and your 6 cancel. So here is what you end up with. Okay, with a 44/2, isn't it, for your R2? So you end up with 9/2, is it? Is that correct? 9/2. Okay, this one. And then this one is very simple because it is R3 minus R1. So your R3 is here, minus your, subtract your R1. So this one is actually 30/6, subtract 1/6, again 29/6 come out. Okay, here 3 minus 1/2. Okay, so your 3 is actually 6/2 minus 1/2, so we have 5/2. Right, and then it is what, 18 minus this one. So you need to have 18 multiplied by 6, which is 108. Okay, over 6 minus 35/6. Okay, 108 minus 35 becomes 73. So it is 73/6. Okay, again, it will involve a lot of fractions. Okay, you need to be patient about all the fractions. However, as you sweep to your second column, I mean previously you need to get rid of both one on top and on the bottom. I mean the one that is not in the second position of your second column, right? However, for this method, because it is a semi, so what we are going to do is that we are going to concentrate on only the one below that second position. So the one that you need to get rid of is only this one, okay? But before you get rid of, it look like this one, that you need to change it into a 1 first. So you are going to change this one into a 1 first, okay, as we did previously. So your R2 becomes your 2 over 3 R2. Okay, so let me can we squeeze it here? So here 1 6 1 2 35 over 6. Here's 0 1 1, and if you multiply by 2 over 3, the 2 cancel, so you have a 3 out of it. And then 0 29 over 6, 5 over 2, 73 over 6. Just keep it like that. And what we are going to get rid of is only this one. So it means that the only thing that you need to calculate is your R3, which is your R3 with a negative 29 over 6, the negative number of the thing that you need to eliminate, and multiply with your R2. Okay, so this one, the concentration is on your R2. All right, so your first column is done. Your first row unchanged, so you just write down. Your second row, of course, it is unchanged, but your third row, this one must be 0 if you did it right. Okay, and here you are going to multiply negative 29 over 6 to your R2. So the first one becomes negative 29 over 6. Okay, so it is negative 29 over 6, and then add 15 over 6. So you have again negative 14 over 6. Okay, this one negative 29 over 6, so it is a negative 29 over 2, is it? Oh, okay, it is very good because this is over 6 as well. So we are going to multiply negative 29 over 6 with the 3. So it's 29 multiplied with 3. You have 87 over 6 and 73 over 6. Okay, so let me do a subtraction, and it is negative 14 over 6. Very good, negative 14 over 6. All right, okay, and then you are going to look at your last column. Okay, and it's already done because this one is actually the variable x, y, and z. So it means your last row, okay, the last row correspond to the new equation, which is negative 14 over 6 z, okay, because here is the coefficient for z equals to negative 14 over 6. How about your second row? Your second row correspond to your y and your z equals to 3, because here is a variable for y, there is a variable for z. And of course, your first row correspond to x, 1 6 y, 1 over 2 z must be equals to 35 over 6. Okay, so what happened to this one? This one, your z is 1, and when your z is 1, your y is 3 minus z, which is 3 minus 1, so it's 2. And your x, it is 35 over 6 minus y over 6 minus z over 2. It is 35 minus your y is 2, your z is 1, but you need to multiply by 3, so it is a 3 over 6. Okay, so it is 30 over 6, or a 5. So you have the same thing as your x to be 5, your y to be 2, and your z to be 1, which is the same as what we did with your A inverse, okay? But this method may be pretty much shorter, okay? It will be pretty much shorter, even though it still involve fractions again. And you may say that, hey, I mean, can we do it this way at the beginning? I mean, instead of changing this one into a 1, can we just switch this one up so that it will be 1 already, and then it may be easier? You can try, okay? You can try whatever you like, okay? However, I keep doing it this way so that we really don't need to have so many cases, okay? For those of you who not that good in mathematics, then can follow the fixed step just like that, okay? So this one, I mean, later on we are going to do it both way so that you can review yourself on how to find A inverse, and also be able to use this method, the semi-reduction, to solve the system of equation easily, okay? So let us stop this video clip right here first because it's pretty long, and then we are going to continue the next one with the next example. We'll see you then. Bye bye.